Did I start with electromagnetic induction, boss?
No, ma'am.
I didn't start this chapter, right? Now start writing, boys. Electromagnetic induction. In grade, I think so. In grade 10, you have learned about electromagnetic induction. Am I audible, boys?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, what is electromagnetic induction? Do understand this, boys. Suppose in case, let me-
Ma'am, is this the same chapter?
no, next chapter. That chapter is over. This is
Okay.
electromagnetic. Boys, moving charges and magnetism we have completed. Next, as per the textbook, next chapter will be magnetism and matter. Now, that is relatively an easy chapter, like it's almost theoretical. So, what we thought is the one which has more derivations and numericals, that is this chapter, electromagnetic induction. So we have transferred this one school, then we'll go for the other one. So these two chapters, the coming up chapters. Now is it fine? Now the coming up chapter, electromagnetic induction and alternating current, is very important. Right? So now what is electromagnetic induction? Just listen. When suppose if I have a magnet, say a bar magnet, now it is moving towards a coil or a loop. Now what happens when the magnet is moving? You represent your magnetic field by magnetic field by magnetic lines of forces. You have learnt in your lower grade. A magnet is represented by magnetic lines. Magnetic field is represented by magnetic lines of forces. Now these are your magnetic lines of forces. For a bar magnet, all your magnetic field lines will start from north pole, enter into a south pole. The magnetic field lines are closed loop. Outside the magnetic field lines are moving from north to south. Inside the magnetic field lines are moving from south to north. You know that. When the field lines are close to each other, the strength of the magnetic field is higher. So when a magnet is moving near a coil or a loop, now what happens? The number of field lines passing through the loop is going to change. In other words, we know that the number of field lines means the magnetic flux. Flux is nothing but whether it is electric flux or magnetic flux. Flux is the number of field lines which are passing through a given coil in a direction perpendicular to the plane of the coil. So when the magnet is moving towards a coil, the magnetic flux, which means the number of field lines passing perpendicular to the coil, the magnetic flux is going to change. Whenever there is a change in magnetic flux, an EMF will be induced in the coil. EMF means electromotive force. The free electrons in the coil will be motive, which means when the electron starts moving, it constitutes an current is induced in the coil. When we started with this chapter of magnetism, long back it was thought current electricity was a separate branch of physics, magnetism was a separate branch of physics. Then Hans Ost experimented that a current carrying coil can produce a magnetic field. This is what we started with. A current carrying coil or a current carrying conductor is producing a magnetic field. How did he prove this experiment? If you keep a small magnetic needle near a current carrying conductor, the magnetic field is the uh, magnetic compass deflected, which means it proved that a current carrying conductor produces a magnetic field. This was a statement put forward by Hans Oersted. Then Michael Faraday proved that if a current carrying conductor can produce a magnetic field, why not a magnetic field can produce electric current? Right? That became the principle of electromagnetic That was what we call it as electromagnetic induction phenomenon. And it became the principle of electric generator. The current what we are using every day, it is because of this phenomenon of electromagnetic induction. When a current carrying conductor can produce a magnetic field, the reverse is also possible, which means a varying magnetic field should produce current, and this phenomenon is
Ma'am, your
called.
voice is very low and it's a little
Is it
breaking.
still?
It's glitching.
Wait, boys, I'm using the microphone. Now? Is it still? Is it
Ma'am,
still?
that's better.
1 second, boys, I'll just increase it. Is it still audible? Audible?
Yes,
Is it
ma'am. It's
audible?
clear.
Okay, fine. So keep this in mind, boys. So a varying magnetic field, should produce. So I think somewhere I'm blocking the microphone. Okay, boys. A varying magnetic field. I'm just writing field is B vector. A varying magnetic field produces an current, and such current we call them as induced current. That's what we'll be studying in the beginning of the chapter. So how can I vary a magnetic field? A magnetic field is represented by magnetic field lines. A magnetic field is represented by field lines. The number of field lines passing through a given area, we call it as magnetic flux. So when the field lines keeps changing, the magnetic flux will change, and hence the magnetic field also changes. That is how, if you want to increase the strength of the magnetic field, then naturally the number of field lines will increase. When the number of field lines are going to increase, the flux is and EMF is induced, and hence induced current flows. We will see in detail what is happening. Now look at this. You have a bar magnet, U-shaped magnet. Now you have a U-shaped magnet. There is a magnetic field between the pole pieces of your magnet. So when a loop which is connected to say a straight wire which is connected to a galvanometer, when you move the straight wire up and down within the magnetic field, and induced current, your galvanometer shows deflection, and induced current flows in the loop. Boys, you are producing a current without any battery or without any power supply. Now you are producing a current without any battery or without power supply. How can you do this? You just move the coil in a magnetic field. What happens when the straight conductor is moving in the magnetic field? It cuts the magnetic field lines. Whenever a coil cuts the magnetic field lines, then a current starts flowing in the coil. The same thing happens. I don't know, this is not. 1 second, boys.
Ma'am, can you do this in a uniform field also? Will it still work?
No, you can do it in a uniform field. We'll see. It depends on your induced current depends on, or the EMF induced depends upon three factors. Either your field should change, area of the loop should change, the angle through which you rotate the coil should also change. Here, 1 second, boss. I don't know why it's. You can see, boss, when the straight wire is moving up and down, it's moving in the upward direction. Your galvanometer is going to show a. Okay. You can see when the current is flowing through the coil. The same thing can happen in the other way also. You can move. You can rotate a coil in a magnetic field. When you rotate a coil in the magnetic field, then your coil is cutting the magnetic field lines. Whenever the coil cuts the magnetic field lines, an EMF is induced, and hence the current starts flowing. And here the current is flowing in both the directions. Such current, can you see? Your galvanometer shows a deflection in both the direction. So when the galvanometer shows deflection in both the direction, which means the current flowing is alternating in nature. That is the current what we are utilizing. Our current from the electrical power supply which we are using is alternating in nature. It keeps its direction changing after regular intervals of time. Just write the statement, boys. Electromagnetic induction. I think later on I'll give you the statement. Before,
Can you get full screen?
yeah, one second, boys. Before going for electromagnetic induction, you have to define what is meant by magnetic flux. So magnetic flux is the number of magnetic field lines which are passing through any given area. Only thing, just add perpendicular to its surface, boys. Just add the statement. Now we'll see what is magnetic flux. A magnetic field is represented by the field lines. Can you see these parallel arrows which represents the magnetic field which is uniform because all the field lines are straight and parallel to each other. So what is magnetic flux? So in this magnetic field, you're keeping a closed surface. Can you see a closed rectangular surface? It can be a thin metal sheet. Once you have a magnetic field, in this magnetic field, imagine you're keeping a thin sheet, a rectangular sheet of metal. Now what happens? Your metal sheet is, say, an iron sheet. It is magnetic in nature. It will allow the field lines to pass through it. So the number of field lines passing through a metal sheet, only condition is that it should be perpendicular to the surface. Then all those field lines together constitute what we call it as magnetic flux. Now look at the diagram. Here, B vector represents your magnetic field. What is A vector? Any vector which is perpendicular to the plane of the loop, right? Any vector which is perpendicular to the plane of a loop, plane of a coil, or the plane of this surface. You have taken a rectangular surface, say it is made up of a magnetic material. So any vector which is perpendicular to the surface is called an area vector. So this, your magnetic flux. Now, the flux depends. Look at this diagram. The first one in the first diagram, is that not both the loop having the same area, boys? Look at the first diagram. In the first diagram, is that not both the loops are having the same area? Abhishek, is that not both the surface having the same area?
Yes, ma'am, they have.
Okay, they have the same area. What about the strength of the magnetic field passing? Harish, what about the strength of the magnetic field passing through these areas? First diagram, consider the loop A. Consider the loop A and loop B. In which loop is your strength of the magnetic field greater? How do you measure?
Just more field lines.
More the field lines, more will be the strength of the magnetic field. So in this case, both loop A and B, the flux of phi B is greater than phi A. The reason is the number of field lines passing through the loop B is greater. So which means the second loop is having a greater magnetic flux. Look at the third diagram. Look at the third diagram. The field is the same. The field is going to be the same, boys. The field is going to be the same. The area is changing. So what about the magnetic flux? In which case the magnetic flux is greater, boys? What is flux? The number of field lines. Third one. Yeah, I have two coils, A and B. So in which of these loop the number of field lines passing through the loop is greater? B, right? In third diagram, I have two loops, A and B. In loop B, the number of field lines passing through the loop is greater, which means your flux is greater in B compared to A. So this is what you should understand, boys. The flux, the magnetic flux means what? The number of field lines passing through the loop depends upon the strength of the magnetic field, upon the area of the loop. Later on, we'll see the angle. Okay. So what is magnetic flux? Magnetic flux is the number of field lines passing through any area perpendicular to its surface. That's very, very important. So phi is equal to BA cos theta. Theta is the angle between area vector and magnetic field vector. Boys, diagrams are important. You write under each diagram, all the three diagrams, all the steps are equally important. So when the angle between the area vector, the first case, what is the angle between A vector and B vector? 0 degrees. So cos 0 is 1. So your flux will be maximum. In the second diagram, the angle between area vector and the magnetic field vector, both are 90 degrees. So cos 90 is 0. The field lines or the flux passing through the loop is 0. The third case, the angle between area vector and B vector is theta. It depends upon, the flux depends on the value of theta. Copy down all the statement, even with the diagram. Only then you will be able to solve numericals, boys, because you should know what is theta. It is the angle between A vector and B vector. Suppose if I'm resolving A vector, so this will be A sine theta, and the one which is along the direction of the magnetic field, A cos theta. So that's what it is, BA cos theta. All of you to write the statement, the diagram also, just few minutes, then I'll switch over, boys. Have you completed? Have you completed, boys?
No, ma'am, not yet.
Okay, complete. Shall I go for it?
No, ma'am.
Boys, I'm just switching over. We'll start with electromagnetic induction.
Ma'am, the unit, SI unit is Tesla
Weber.
meters.
Yeah, it's Weber. SI unit is Weber. Tesla meter squared. Because magnetic field is Tesla, area is meter squared. Okay, I'll go for the next one. So you very well know that phi depends on what? Your flux, the number of field lines passing through a loop depends upon the strength of the magnetic field. It depends upon the area of the coil. It depends upon the angle between B vector and A vector. Now, what is electromagnetic induction? The phenomenon of production of electric current in a closed coil when the magnetic flux linked with the coil is going to change. Now look at the diagram, boys. So look at this small picture. You have a closed loop. You have a coil, which is made up of insulated copper wire connected to a galvanometer. Now you can see a magnet, a bar magnet, is moving towards the coil. So when the magnet is moving towards the coil, the number of field lines, that is your flux, passing through the coil is changing. So when the flux is changing, a current starts flowing through the coil. Such current we call them as induced current, and the phenomenon is called as electromagnetic induction. Only when the magnet is moving. So when the magnet is in motion near a coil, a closed coil, then the magnetic flux, the number of field lines passing through the coil is changing. So whenever the magnetic field lines, that is the magnetic flux through the coil is changing, and EMF is induced. EMF means electromotive force. What do you mean by electromotive force? The one which motivates the electrons. So there will be a force developed which motivates the electron in the coil to move, constituting an electric current. Such phenomenon we call it as electromagnetic induction. Write the statement, boys. Electromagnetic induction, phenomenon of production of electric current in a closed coil. So the coil should be closed when the magnetic flux linked with the coil is changed. So this can happen this way. Either the magnet should move, the coil should be stationary, or the magnet can be stationary, the coil can move. There is one more way. Keep the magnetic field a constant, rotate the coil. Sorry, keep the field constant, rotate the magnet, the coil. This is the condition of your electric generator. Current is generated in all your generators in that method. So I'll go for the next one. Just write phenomenon of production of electric current in a closed coil when the magnetic flux linked with the coil is changed. Now Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. The same thing. Whenever the magnetic flux linked with a coil changes, an EMF is induced in the coil. The induced EMF persists as long as there is a change, as long as the change in the flux continues. Right, boys? Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. We have to go for the mathematical expression also. Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. Whenever the magnetic flux linked with the coil changes, an EMF is induced in the coil. The induced EMF lasts as long as the change in the flux continues. Complete this. Whenever the magnetic flux linked with the coil changes, an EMF is induced in the coil. The induced EMF lasts as long as the change in the flux continues. So how will you represent it mathematically? Shall I go for the next one? Shall I go for the next one, boss? Mathematical representation?
Yes, ma'am.
Get this. The magnitude of the induced EMF is directly proportional to the rate of change of magnetic flux. So an EMF is induced means what? One end of the coil will be at high potential, other end of the coil will be at low potential. And the flux, the number of field lines passing through the coil is going to change. Then one end of the coil will be at high potential, other end will be at low potential. And EMF is induced. Now this EMF is directly proportional to the rate of change of flux. How fast is your flux is going to change. How fast the number of field lines passing through the coil is going to change. That is, E is proportional to d phi by dt, put the negative sign, we'll see what do you mean, the significance of the negative sign. So what is d phi by dt? D phi by dt is rate of change of magnetic flux. And it also depends upon the number of turns. So write the mathematical part. E is proportional to d phi by dt, or E is equal to minus n into d phi by dt. So where n is the number of turns of the coil, d phi by dt is the rate of change of magnetic flux.
Ma'am, is this one of the laws?
This is one of the laws. Second, the negative sign will become the second law. We'll see what do you mean by the second. What is the significance of the negative sign? Did you complete, boys? So E is proportional to d phi by dt, or E is equal to minus n into d phi by dt. So what is that? The negative sign indicates. So there should be a negative sign over here. That is what we call it as Lenz's law. Shall I go for the next one? What shall I go for the next?
Yes.
Now look at this. This is the second law. An induced current flows in the coil. You very well know. Now when the magnet is moving, whenever the magnet is moving near the coil, a current starts flowing in the coil. And such current we call them as induced current. Now the nature of the induced current is always to...
Ma'am, your voice is not audible.
It's not audible. One second, boys. Is still is it audible or not? One second. Boys, is that fine? Is that fine?
Yes,
And
ma'am.
an induced current always flows in a direction such that it opposes the change which produces it. Now, what do you mean by that? Now, look at this, boys. I'm just going for the second diagram. Now, a bar magnet, right, is moving moving away from a coil. You have a coil which is not carrying any current. It is connected to a galvanometer. You are moving the magnetic north of a bar magnet away from the coil, which means the flux through the coil is changing. See, whether you move a magnet towards a coil or whether you move a magnet away from the coil, the number of field lines passing through the coil, that is your flux, magnetic flux is changing. Whenever a magnetic flux linked with the coil is changing, and now what is the cause of the induced current? Your north pole moving away, boys. When the north pole of the coil is moved away, that is the cause. This is the cause. The north pole is going to move away. The nature of the induced current doesn't want, it opposes the cause. It doesn't want the north pole to move away, because the north pole moving away is the cause of the induced current. So that becomes the cause. Which is the cause? The north pole moving away from the loop becomes the cause for the induced current. The induced current doesn't want the cause to happen, which means it wants to pull the north pole towards the coil. What? The induced current, if you don't understand this concept, reasoning based question will become difficult, boys. The induced current flows in the coil, and the nature of the induced current is to oppose the cause which is producing it. What is the cause? The north pole moving away from the coil is the cause. So the current doesn't want the north pole to move away, so that it flows in the coil in such a way the end of the coil, which is facing the north pole, becomes a south pole. A current carrying coil will produce a magnetic field. If the current flows in clockwise direction, then that part of the coil which is facing us will behave like a south pole. So now what happens is that in the coil, the current, the induced current starts flowing in the clockwise direction. Why? Because it produces a south polarity near the bar magnet, which will not allow the north pole to move, because the north pole moving is the cause. It doesn't want the cause to happen, which means it will try to pull the north pole towards the coil. In that sense, the part of the coil which is facing the bar magnet should behave like a south pole. So this is what is the nature of the induced current, right, boys? Right. And always always flows in a direction such that it opposes the change which produced it. That's the reason you have a negative sign. E is proportional to minus d phi by dt. Right, boys? An induced current always flows in a direction such that it opposes the cause which is producing it. If you can draw the rough diagram, it's better, boys. Statement you write, draw the rough diagram, because all your reasoning based questions with diagram will be checked. So you draw a coil and you draw a magnet where here north pole is moving. Now that becomes the cause. Which is the cause? The north pole moving towards the coil is the cause. It doesn't want the north pole to move towards the coil, which means in the coil should flow in the anti-clockwise direction. Only then you'll get a north polarity. Just draw this, boys. The coil has to repel the magnet. Statement and this. So complete this. I'll solve a numerical, then we'll go for the next one. Have a rough diagram, just because you should know what is happening. So this will be the cause. Just write the cause. The north pole is moving away. Boys, if I'm having a class at 12:30, I will put a message in your WhatsApp group, because I have to do numericals on galvanometer. So just check, boys. Those who are not in the group, please check with your other students. I will put a message. So half an hour I'll take for, I'll have to solve numericals of the previous chapter. Have you completed? Boys, have you completed?
1 minute.
Okay. Just remind me when is the next class is going to start, because I'm in the full screen mode. I'm not able to see the exact time. Shall I go for the next one? Okay, boys. Now, one thing you have to be very clear about it. Your EMF is equal to minus N into d phi by dt. N is the number of turns of the coil. Your magnetic flux phi is equal to BA cos theta, where B is the strength of the magnetic field, A is the area of the coil, theta is the angle between A vector and B vector. Now keep this in mind, boys. Your flux phi will change. Either B has to change, or the area of the coil has to change, or theta has to change. So in this entire chapter, when you are learning about EMF induced, so if phi has to, flux has to change, B will to change. That concept, those concepts you will be studying under solving numerical. So theoretically, what you are going to learn, whenever the area of the coil is going to change, right? That is what we call it as a motional EMF. So your changes you will be dealing with your theory. Then whenever theta changes, that is when the coil is going to rotate in a magnetic field, when theta changes, your flux is going to change. When the flux changes, an EMF is induced. That becomes the principle of electric generator. Okay. So now look at this question. A square loop of side 10 centimeter and resistance 0.5 ohm is placed vertically in the east-west plane. A uniform magnetic field of 0.10 Tesla is set up across the plane in the northeast direction. The magnetic field is decreased to 0 in 0.70 at a steady rate. Determine the value of induced EMF and current during this interval. Anyway, I draw the directions. Let me go for this way, boys. North, west, east, and south. I'm just putting the direction. Now you have a square loop. The plane of the loop is along the east-west plane. So let me keep the loop this way. So that's the loop. The side of the loop is 10 centimeter, right, boys? And the resistance of the loop is 0.5 ohms. Now, a uniform magnetic field of 0.10 Tesla is set up across the plane in the northeast direction. So, which means your magnetic field is along northeast direction. This is your northeast direction, boys. Then, what will be the direction of the area vector? This will be the direction of the area vector. Any vector which is perpendicular to the surface, we call it as area vector. Your area vector is now lying along north direction because the plane of the coil is in the east-west. So now theta becomes equal to 45 degrees. Boys, they will not give you what's the value of theta. Looking at the direction, you should know. So imagine the plane of the loop. Imagine, boys, the plane of the loop is along east-west plane, which means any vector which is perpendicular to its surface will point in the north direction. The magnetic field is along northeast, which means the angle between area vector and B vector is 45 degrees. Now, what is given? Your magnetic field is changing. It is dB is what? The change in the magnetic field. It changes from 0.1 Tesla to 0 Tesla in a time of 0.7 seconds.
Ma'am,
Now the question is,
please take.
time is over.
Yes, ma'am. We have a break.
Okay. Okay. Just do this numerical, then we'll see for it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.